Welcome back. Reports have shown the clean power industry is bringing jobs, economic investment, and clean energy to states across the country. Joining us to discuss how clean energy projects benefit local communities and the careers of people living in these communities is the CEO of American Clean Power Association, Jason Grumet. Jason, thank you so much for joining me.
Kibin, great to be here.
Now, can you explain what clean power is and why it's important for our energy future?
Absolutely. So, look, the United States is an energy superpower, right? We are producing more energy as a country than any other nation in the world. And the fastest growing part of this new industry is clean power. We're talking about wind power, solar power, the big battery facilities that are used to make sure the power goes where we need to, when we need it. We're also building hundreds of manufacturing facilities that are bringing economic growth and jobs across the country. And also, one of the great things about clean power plants, no smokestacks, right? So we can talk a little bit about all the environmental benefits that are coming from this incredible growth.
Now, we will get into the environmental benefits, but I want to focus on the economic benefits. Can you elaborate on, some of these the benefits of using clean power both nationally and on a local level?
So let me just give you a little sense of, the present state of the industry, right? Right now, the industry employs about 500,000 people, and we are expecting that to double, right? 3/4 of all of the new power coming onto the electric grid last year was clean power. There have been 500 billion, with a B, $billion of announced investment in the new clean power sector over just the last 2 years, bringing billions of dollars of revenue to local communities, billions of dollars of local, payments to local landowners. Just in terms of the scope of the industry, it's basically enough power to power about half of the homes in the country. In New York State, which is a real leader in the sector, about 2 million homes are powered by clean energy. There's tens of millions of dollars of local taxes, a lot of it going into, local and rural communities. Tens of millions of dollars of payments going to local landowners, oftentimes, folks with small farms. I grew up in Rochester, New York, a lot of dairy farms where I'm from. And then, new manufacturing, just one example. General Electric has just opened a brand new facility in Schenectady, which is building the wind turbines. And they are basically going to have 200 new employees in good full-time jobs, over $50 million of new investment in that facility. So we're seeing, jobs in terms of the manufacturing of the components, jobs building the facilities, the construction jobs, and then jobs operating the facilities. And those are all big benefits to New York State.
Now, we've been hearing more about renewable farming lately. Can you share any success stories from local farms and farm owners who have embraced clean power practices?
Yeah, so look, it's a really important part of the story. I think, it's really tough to run a small family farm, right? If you look at, farming in America, a lot of farms are being bought up by the big multinational companies, and a lot of folks are just not able to sustain the economics of a small farm, and they're becoming, condos and strip malls. Clean power fits with farming. You can run a farm while you have, wind turbines or solar panels on the land. And farmers think about it as just another crop, right? It's a regular source of reliable income that often is the difference between balancing the books. And so, again, much of the actual clean energy production is happening in rural parts of the country. And the companies that we work with are really working hard to make sure that it's integrated into not just the economy, but also the culture of those communities.
How has the widespread adoption of clean power, such as renewables like wind and solar, transformed our energy landscape in recent years?
So again, the growth is spectacular, right? We are the fastest growing part of the energy sector. But it's not just any old energy, right? There's some really important attributes, right? The fuel is free. So once you build the facility, you have, predictable priced power. We're not dealing with, gasoline prices that are based on the whims of, foreign dictators. The projects are also clean. And, this is incredibly important for local communities that are often located where there's, big power production, whether it's natural gas or coal. And, obviously a very significant benefit is there are no, emissions contributing to the climate change problem that the world is facing. And then, lastly, just really want to emphasize, it's homegrown energy, right? The national security benefits of having control over our own energy production are tremendous. And so clean power is part of a complicated system, right? We're not the only source of power out there, but we're growing every year and really integrating with the other energy sources that are powering the country.
Now, I want to expand a little bit on something you mentioned, and that was climate change. We talked about the economic benefits, but I really want to focus on the environmental benefits, especially as more people begin to learn about climate change. They want to make efforts to be a little bit more environmentally conscious. So can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, look, so the key to solving climate change is inventing and deploying technologies that provide all the benefits of any other source of power, but just do it cleanly. And so what wind and solar and battery storage are able to do is basically power our economy with no pollution. Now, again, this is technologies that are growing and becoming bigger and cheaper and larger, and so it's going to take a couple of decades for us to really displace polluting power. But if we can develop those technologies here and build those technologies and export those technologies, we're both helping the American economy. We're also helping the whole world decarbonize. But then there's also local pollution. Look, I know that one of the unfortunate challenges in the Bronx is air pollution. Right? The name Asthma Alley is an unfortunate reality for a lot of families who are faced with lots of urban pollution. Clean power does two things, right? It gets rid of the smokestacks, but the key to cleaning up a lot of urban areas is moving towards electric transportation, changing diesel buses to electric buses. And you need those buses to be powered with clean power, right? You don't want to create pollution in order to create the electricity to clean up those buses. And so there's a kind of a virtuous cycle of using clean power to clean up urban areas.
Now, for viewers who want to learn more about clean power and its benefits, where can they go for reliable information and resources?
Look, we would love people to check out fuelforthought.energy. It's a website that provides a lot of just general information, but also some pretty kind of compelling examples and stories of how people are finding economic benefit from this new industry. And we need to hire 500,000 folks. So if any of your viewers are interested in joining the clean energy workforce, they should go to cleanpowerinstitute.org, where they can get some ideas about how to become part of what we think is one of the best workforces in the country.
Well, thank you so much for joining us and telling us a little bit more about this. And on top of that, giving resources at the moment where people can go to for employment. I think that's amazing. People are always looking for jobs, and this seems like a really amazing way to kind of be a part of what's happening in the future. So I want to thank you so much for joining us and kind of having this conversation.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
For more information, you can visit the website at Fuel for Thought Energy. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Open right after this.